Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut. Apologies for any background noise here. So right here, Matthew L-I-N-Y sharing this with Deutsche Bank, actually one of the banks that are listed as too big to fail, a huge bank in terms of the systemic health of all markets regarding liquidity. If you're familiar with the ICE 9 concept and even that book, if one market actually closes down, be it a bank or, derivatives, the oil market, anything like that, it actually creates systemic risk in other markets as well, and it has this type of exponential effect or compounding effect on this. So again, Matthew L-I-N-Y, must follow on Twitter for research, is showing XRP in this diagram directly, and this is with Deutsche Bank, again, utilizing the Corda settler, which is the open source platform of R3, using XRP for possible digitized assets. Again, nothing is guaranteed. Please do your own research, but I just wanted to show you this document. And so let's go right into this. So this was actually made September, I believe, 2019, if I remember correctly. Yep, right down here, if you can see that. And so what I'll typically do is just, control find really quick. And this is the only place that's listed, but as always, transitioning to the future of securities post-trade. Now it's all about the DVP, again, delivery versus payments. Kind of reminds me of the concept of payments versus settlements. Again, with reconciliation, setting up your obligations. Settlements is the problem at hand, and true real-time settlements, not just payments, is what is going to solve a lot of the inefficiencies in the market and release this dormant capital. So we can see various crypto exchanges, and all I care about really is figure B right here. So a Corda settler, intermediaries, settlement, finality. Again, true final settlements. So we can see options. XRP is a digital asset, not naming Ripple, but again, XRP, because it's my belief per the last video that R3 does still hold a significant portion of XRP, and granted, it has been the only digital asset to date named for settlements, which makes sense, especially if Ripple develops on-demand liquidity and has that low value, high volume. And I'll explain in this video, if you watch to the end, specifically what I mean by high volume and high value transfers with R3. This is the group I'm really watching. All right, so again, Swift, they don't have a competitor. They don't have a product to solve that at hand. Of course, they have Swift GPI, which competes with Xcurrent, but this is messaging. Perhaps Swift is kind of their backup if XRP does not have that necessary liquidity quite yet for the big value transactions. But over time, as liquidity develops, XRP will become cheaper and cheaper. Not just the low-hanging fruit, but once we get, USD and Euro corridors going and flowing, it's going to be the no-brainer. Now, I'm not sure if this could happen overnight or gradually over time. I just believe and know what is coming due to true research. So please always look into this. All right, next up, Status sharing this. So again, Status, his website always recommended is status.hr. And now seeing this, you can now send the US dollar to any Twitter handle, even if they don't have this Dharma account. Pretty funny. Again, kind of competing with the XRP tipbot in a way. Interesting for the US dollar. Social payments, money with a mobile phone with Twitter native financial ecosystem. Now, Dharma, for those of you that do not know, is actually partnered, and Spring is kind of supporting them to develop the Internet of Value as well. So let's tie that in, and I'm going to show you another gentleman that is, I believe he's still the managing director somewhere in Ripple, but we'll show him in a minute. So anyways, Dharma website right here, send money to anyone, earn interest from anywhere. Talking about the rate, as we can see here, sending and receiving money. You can download the app, Google Play or App Store for, Apple. And now as we go right here, this is Danny Aranda. So we showed his clip in, I believe, 2018, or maybe it was before, and he exclusively said, yes, Citibank, what did he say? Standard Chartered and Bank of America are RippleNet partners. There's all kinds of videos. They don't just publicize it and make it really well known, but this is, a fact. This is not speculative. Now, are they using XRP today? I don't think so. But we are simply waiting. We understand the rollout, and time again, I think they've been nothing but transparent to us, and they owe us nothing. They are a private company, and they're building on the XRP ecosystem. And I think this is a chance for you and I to potentially speculate and, hopefully make a lot of money doing so. So again, Danny Aranda, managing director at Ripple, works with payment solutions, talking about the products again. And what I want to emphasize is this Medium article that he writes. So again, he does a lot of things for Spring and the initiative, the $500 million investment to help develop the Internet of Value. We can see Equilibrium we've talked about Bolt Labs. We've talked about, Forte and game developers, incentivizing that, creating new marketplaces entirely and new revenue streams for advertisers, game developers, etc. And then Dharma. So again, investing in Dharma, Ripple made a, early decision to talk about this. So as we dive into here briefly, Control Find, this is a really good article talking about, the importance of cryptocurrency, liquidity, cryptocurrency and crypto assets being the best choice to do so. Talking about, capital market products in the foreign exchange market, which, is a highly liquid market built on the backs of credit and leverage, excuse me. I was going to say leveraging something else. But again, guys, open networks, protocols, all about trust, reducing, disintermediation. We get it. All right. They're backing the Dharma team. We can see they recognize, of course, the protocol, the infrastructure layer, peer-to-peer credit, all of this, okay? And then they see Lever as a solution to deliver this liquidity to a target customer. Now remember, Spring is specifically on helping the Internet of Value come into fruition with the protocol of Interledger to bridge these networks, whether it's mobile or a bank account, etc. And then also they need a digital asset to transfer said value. IOP is agnostic. It can utilize any crypto asset, but in terms of payments and settlements, XRP obviously was built with Interledger protocol, like in tandem, so there's no question. I think that they're actually going to propel a lot of other assets in the future, hopefully some that are being built heavily and some that already have tons of infrastructure, like Ethereum. Even if Ethereum does have scalability issues, we are still early in the game to address that. I'm keeping an eye on Chainlink, Tezos, you name it. All right, so next up, again, Leonidas, guys, so Ripple joins the Mobility Coalition. So this is Moby. I'll get into it briefly on his website, XRP Arcade, again. So xrparcade.com. And I just saw this little going back and forth here with Stuart XRP. When I was searching this one, if it was new or not, I found out, I found a funny XRP chat post. Someone shared Moby 2 years ago, and everyone was all over them and saying it wasn't Ripple or XRP related. And yeah, I can relate to that. All right, so right here, I'm not going to read this whole website. I encourage you guys to go to it again. You can go to xrparcade.com and literally just click this news tab, and you can scroll down and see everything. Highly recommended if you guys want to do your own research. Everything is sourced as well. You can also see infographics. You can see, XRP ecosystem connections, and then even Ripple and the banks that they're connected with. So if you guys just want to, learn or just share with a friend. So Moby, as we can see, the Mobility Open Blockchain Initiative formed 2 years ago. Basically, partners, again, they already have 70% of global vehicle production in terms of market share. Massive group, creating simple ways of identifying vehicles. Again, ID will be huge. People and trips to streamline mobility transactions. So payments, as we can see here, by promoting secure protocols for V2V, vehicle to vehicle, and vehicle to infrastructure communications and payments. Very interesting. All right, so another tie as we go there. Now lastly, we're going to finish up with this. This is really cool here, shared by XRP_owl, must follow. So right here, April 16th 2020, again tying in Corda, as we just talked about, thanks to Matt here talking about Deutsche Bank. Now let's tie it in to Corda for telecom, of course the rollouts of 5G, and now there's concepts, of course, talking about voice settlement as a whole. So this is really cool. Again, I have this right in front of me, so we'll kind of go through that. And then Matthew, LINY, kind of shared a bunch of things I have to look into later. But let's get into this. So this is where I'm talking about high value. So we can see, guys, this means new efficiencies and revenue opportunities across wholesale voice settlements. Remember, retail, guys, that's us, you and I, but wholesale's for the capital markets, the big boys in the world of trade finance. These are the enterprise groups, the top banks and financial institutions. Okay, so as we can see here, right here, interoperability, another key with Corda, and such as a payment and settlement rails are supported by Corda flows. Let's keep moving here. We can see finality of transactions, similar to what we just saw, and then this. They are final. This is essential for the low risk and highly secure settlement of high volume, okay, because they talk about scalability, so high volume, a high transaction per second, rate is important, and high value transactions between carriers. Absolutely. They've already talked about the money they're transacting. This is trillions of dollars, whether it's, for logistics and, provisioning or, any group. They talk about everything, okay? Obligations, reconciliation, there's multiple steps, but settlement will be a key part of this. And notice why I'm so bullish, because there was that lawsuit back in the day, that dispute, it's been settled, and now we do not know how much XRP they're sitting on. And then, of course, it was listed as a settlement mechanism for Corda and their platform. And it seems like Ripple kind of has to get it going. And as SBI, that has ties to both and control over both organizations, R3 and Ripple, is pushing and has made known in PDF documents and PowerPoints that we've shared the push to basically get Ripple to be the low value, high volume transfers, get that liquidity going, get it all cheaper in the order books. And then when Corda starts onboarding and Spring on top of that, and all of these other groups even building DeFi and derivatives products with, the Logos network, I'm just very, very confident in the success of the XRP ecosystem. I just think there's more backing than, meets the eye, and it can take years of research to even, comprehend this. All right, enterprise blockchain for inter-carrier settlements. It just keeps going, talking about scalability. I don't need to get too granular with this. Again, talking about automation and then voice settlement as well. All right. So right here, wholesale voice settlement, guys. So global wholesale carriers reconcile and settle. Look at this, 400 billion minutes of call data records every year. Application builders can use Corda to build applications to automate the reconciliation, again, kind of the obligation to who owes who, and then the settlement, which is the delivery of the payment of these records, harnessing Corda's privacy, resilience, and scalability. So this is a permissioned type of database, again, with this select group. Okay, so it's, I shouldn't say permissioned, excuse me, but kind of more of a closed network to an extent with select participants, okay? And they can utilize XRP, and again, XRP is the native asset off the XRP ledger, so they still need to source liquidity if they run out. So this is where I get very bullish and where demand and supply can play a huge role in this. And I just urge all of you guys, as we talk about R3, look at their list of partners, look at the mutual partners and connections. R3 working with MasterCard, whereas Ripple's working with Visa and Earthport and those acquisitions. This is all tied into the XRP ecosystem. I don't care who wins. I care about utility, I care about volume, and I care about developing liquidity with this asset. As we know, XRP's goal, not to be that reserve currency per se, but yes, to be held in reserves, to be that multi-currency use for settlement, is a global bridge asset. Remember, R3, tons of connections. I mean, we can see the backing of these groups. You just simply have to follow the money. State Street, one of the biggest custody holders. BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers in the globe. You can look at Vanguard, which basically just, owns the world. You can get very, very deep and granular. You can see Goldman Sachs really backing all of this initially. You can see where JP Morgan fits into play with all of these groups. And I just encourage you guys to look at what is occurring here with on-demand liquidity, getting those, low-hanging fruit, those corridors that might have multiple steps today in Swift's correspondent banking network. Now they're doing direct interaction and direct payments to get those areas, basically to fix them. They don't need as much liquidity to show improvements. And that's what Ripple's tackling. And that's why they are one of the highest valued private companies, because they're already solving a real problem and use case that nobody has taken the time to solve in 40 years. So they're going after that. And then their work with liquidity that they're putting into the XRP ecosystem will basically is a stepping stone for these other groups. Keep in mind that recent article, Ripple Insights, talking about even exchanges, Coinbase, Kraken, all of that is serving towards liquidity for the XRP ecosystem. Also, they hold massive amounts, so it is custody, things of that nature. We're waiting for regulation. We're waiting to ramp up slow and steady progress. People are just freaking out. I get it. It is very unsettling during these times of low price action, manipulation, suppression, whatever words you want to use. But we are in an early market, and to be an investor means informing yourself, keeping up to date with everything, risk management, and understanding where the market is going, and with knowledge, basically betting on the future. If you don't have any knowledge and you're not learning about this and you're just listening to me and then you buy it, that's not recommended. That is gambling. I do not recommend that. I do not listen to one person. I do my own research. I listen to multiple people, I read daily, inform myself, and at the end of the day, I will either blame myself or reward myself. So with that, guys, I appreciate it as always. Big shout out and thank you to my current channel members, the big top supporters, Jamie XRP, Mikey, Crypto Beginner, Philip, and all other top channel members. Appreciate all of you that hit the like button, share this around, and I will see you in the next one.